When you think about a Dragon Ball game, usually the first games to come to mind are Xenoverse, Kakarot, Budokai Tenkaichi, Fighters, or even the new Sparking Zero. But today we're talking about a Dragon Ball game you probably forgot existed. Dragon Ball: The Breakers. Dragon Ball: The Breakers. Going into Dragon Ball Breakers, I really didn't have much expectation in the gameplay. I mean, how can they make a Dragon Ball Dead by Daylight style game actually work? And well, I mean, they kinda did. It doesn't exactly feel like a Dead by Daylight clone. It does feel like its own game, but it still has a lot of problems. Now, I'm not saying the game's bad or even that it isn't enjoyable to other people. I'm just saying it had a lot more potential than the game we got. So I actually feel very unsure about how much I enjoyed playing this game. I mean, the mechanics are pretty simple and the game has a very repetitive gameplay loop, but for some reason I felt weirdly addicted to the game. The beginning of the game is a little annoying. The tutorial takes forever to finish. It makes you play like 4 or 5 games before you can freely move around the main island. But once you complete the prologue story missions, you can play multiplayer with other people, and you will learn it's completely different than what the tutorial showed you. The first few games I played, I was really confused on where to go and what everything was. It was a little disorienting, but once you figure it out, the game becomes a lot clearer. And the only thing that you really need to worry about is the raider being too close to you, because soon you will learn that if you are close enough to the raider and they are looking in your direction, then they will lock on your character, even if you're hiding in a building. I feel as though there were some moments that made me feel like I was playing Dead by Daylight for the first time again, trying to evade and escape the raider, who is severely overpowered towards solo survivors. You do have the ability to transform into whatever Transfear spirit you have equipped. I'll go into these more later, but they do give you a small fighting chance against the raider. But unless you're with a group of people, it's best to use it to escape. Speaking of escaping, the main way you're going to be able to sneak away from the raider is by using your abilities. There are a few, but for example, my favorite are the grapple gun, jump pad, smoke screen, and the Saiyan pod, which can take you anywhere on the map. But if you can't escape and are knocked down, the raider can also absorb your energy to transform. You have 50 seconds to be revived before you're dead, but if the raider has you in its sights, it's almost impossible to survive unless they're distracted by another player. To be honest, I find it best to stick with a group of people, especially toward the end of the match. That way, everybody can focus on the objective while swapping out fighters to keep the raider busy. This happened in a few of the games I played, and it's pretty cool seeing everyone coordinate like that to win. So, what do you have to do to win? Well, the map is separated into 5 sections, A, B, C, D, and E, as well as Area X, so technically 6 sections. You have to search the red and blue crates for the power key in each section. After finding it, an orange beam will appear in the sky, which is where you need to set the power key. After each section has been set, you have to activate the startup system in Area X, which takes a very long time and is usually impossible unless the raider is clueless. And what happens usually is when 3 players remain, you can find time machines scattered around the map to escape from the raider, but it still counts as a win for the raider. While searching crates around the map, you can also rescue civilians and find several items to help you survive, like Vegeta's gloves or the power cubes to charge your transformation. One of the better items you can find are the Dragon Balls. Once you've collected all of them, you can make a wish. Either make yourself a level 4 so you can fight the raider, or you can raise the power of all your allies. If you play as Vegeta or Frieza, you can also steal the Dragon Balls off the survivors for yourself. I've done neither, I just never really got around to collecting them, but it's still pretty interesting and worth doing if you find yourself with a few early game. You can also ride these motorcycles. They don't go incredibly fast, but they are still pretty useful, and I eventually got a skin for it that makes into a dinosaur. Now, this is all about playing as a survivor, but what about being a raider? Well, first of all, I want to point out that the queue system in Breakers, it's atrocious. So basically, you can choose between playing as a survivor and playing as a raider. And here lies the problem. Everybody chooses to play as the raider, so when you choose raider, you have a lower priority than the other people, so you'll be switched to survivor, and then you will go up in priority by 1. I find that usually after about 6 games, I would then be chosen as a raider. This is unfortunate because there are many times I was just getting burnt out playing as a survivor, and I just wanted to play as a raider, but it takes so long to get the chance to do it. But once you get to play as a raider, you do have quite a few fun ones to play, like Goku Black, or Baby Vegeta, or even Broly. All these characters have different forms the raider takes throughout the match. Although if you want to unlock these characters, you either gotta play a crap ton or pay to unlock them. Raiders aren't the only things you can buy though. You can buy survivor skins as well. It's kinda pointless, but it's still a cool option. You have a few that start like Bulma or Oolong, but I prefer using my own custom characters. You can use Zinni to purchase some in-game cosmetics, although anything that's actually cool or good is locked behind the premium currency. You can also use Zinni to unlock new transfers for your survivor. This is pretty much the Breakers loot box system, but it's not that bad. I actually felt excited opening them. The best transfer I've been able to get at this point is the Super Saiyan Saiyaman, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and Super Saiyan Blue Goku. That's just a rarity, but I've gotten a bunch, like Whis or Broly. Overall, Dragon Ball Breakers wasn't great, but it also wasn't terrible. I did have a fun time playing it, and although I probably won't be reinstalling it ever again, I'm glad I did finally get around to playing it and making a video on it. I hope you have all enjoyed, and I'm sorry about the little break I took there. I already have plans for some new videos, including a One Piece game I'm excited to start playing through. Anyways, I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.